Why do we do it? Why do we work so hard to learn to draw and paint at all? It is such a challenging and personal journey. Why do we keep trying in the face of failure and rejection time and time again? I think that the desire to express our world, our own individual perspective in a way that transcends words and language, this is really at the heart of what it means to be an artist. I once heard someone say that artists spend their whole lives painting what really amounts to nothing more than a series of self-portraits. I'm not sure if that's a dig or not, but I do think it's at least partially true. We are driven to draw and paint to show how we feel about the subject, like a wordless diary with visual cues that communicate and convey meaning, our meaning to the viewer. We can and should learn from others to hone and develop our skills as artists, but the substance of what we express is as deep as our genes. It's already there. So the artistic journey is really about refining the ways we communicate what we feel. To become better artists, we must be learning to observe, to really see and feel what we feel about the world around us before we can even begin to express that on an easel. It is already there. It simply needs uncovered, and this is a lifelong process of discovery. So don't quit and don't give up. But what about that persistent feeling of failure? I recently came across a quote by Ira Glass, who is a writer, and he was writing about his long struggle to create something noteworthy. And here's what he says: "Nobody tells this to people who are beginners, and I really wish someone had told this to me. All of us who do creative work, we get into it because we have good taste. But it's like there's this gap. For the first couple years that you're making stuff, what you're making isn't so good. It's not that great. It's trying to be good. It has ambition to be good, but it's not that good. But your taste, that thing that got you in the game, is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. A lot of people never get past that phase. They quit. Everybody I know who does interesting creative work, they went through years where they had really good taste and they could tell what they were making wasn't as good as they wanted it to be. They knew they fell short, and everyone goes through that. If you're still just starting out, or if you're in this phase, you've got to know that it's normal, and the most important thing is that you do a lot of work. Do a huge volume of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week or every month you know you're going to finish one thing. It is only by going through a volume of work that you're going to catch up and close that gap. And the work you're making will be as good as your ambitions." I was just so encouraged by this. I feel like that is exactly where I have been for the last few years. And I can't say that I've reached the point where I'm happy with a painting when I get done with it, but the volume of work that it takes to really get proficient at anything is just enormous. So we've got to remember that it's easier to recognize beauty than it is to create it. You're good enough to know that what you're doing isn't that good, but not good enough yet to produce something great. When you find yourself in this very frustrating limbo, the challenge is to never forget what got you there in the first place. Remember the thing that got you started creating, the art that you love and can see in your mind's eye. Commit to the process, put in that intentional practice, and then let us see what you see. Don't stop creating and don't ever give up.